I live inside my own world of make-believe.
Welcome, fellow Fusioners. Carrot King here, and today we are doing a video that's a little bit different. It is part discussion, part showing. The first part's discussion, going over the effect changes to Lava Golem, talking a little bit about Duel Links overall. And the second part will be going over my auto-duel deck, because I haven't really shown that. I just want to show you what I use. Alrighty. Also, History of the Banlist for my 300 sub will be released on the 1st or the 2nd of September. So stay tuned to that. I appreciate you guys all for subscribing. And let's get to the video. Alrighty. So, the burn changes for Lava Golem are now going to be on the, I think it's September 29th. Yeah, it's going to be, you have it where all burn damage by Lava Golem is half. It's going to be 500 instead of 1,000. That is a big change, which makes a lot of sense because in Duel Links, in the TCG, you could spam your board of 5 monsters, and Lava Golem would pick off 2 monsters, take their normal summon, and then burn for what is an eighth of your life points. In Duel Links, you basically wipe out your whole board, and then you wipe out someone's whole board, burn them for 1,000 per turn, which is a lot more effective, and we don't have good ways to remove it. So it is a very hard card to deal with. So these changes are very interesting. This is the first real big errata we've had for Duel Links specific, outside of changing the effect where it's more Duel Links playable. Like, for example, the Crystal Beast Turtle had an effect in the second main phase 2, which they just completely removed and didn't even think about replacing with something else in main phase 1. So that's very interesting. I'm thinking, because they're doing this so close to XYZ, that if we get Gaga Cowboy, a lot of TCG decks would do 800 for burn. I think we're going to have 400 damage to that. I think they're going to try to reduce a lot of the burn effects to be a lot less impactful in the game. I think they really hate stall with this one. Stall is, you're going to deck people out, but this is not like Star Blast. Ojama's going to deck you out, but you're not going to burn to death as easily. I don't know, I kind of like the change. It feels weird to me, because I've been playing this game for a while now, and Lava Golem is such an iconic card in Duel Links. It's never completely out of the meta. Like, it's either partly out or like partly in. So I find that very interesting that they decided to change that. I think they're looking to try to improve the game a bit more, because with everything with the virus, they seem to want to have more of a emphasis on their online games. They have their new recording screen where you can record your board and duel online, which is interesting concept. But it seems like they may want to focus more on Duel Links now. I've been saying that probably for a year now, and they keep going back and forth with it, but it has the possibility. So we're going to be getting XYZ soon. I think the 3 characters, if they give us 3, I hope they give us 5. But if they give us 3 characters, it's probably going to be Yuma, Shark, and Tori. Yuma having Utopia, Shark having Leviathan Dragon, because it's the first card he used, and he got his Shark Drake later. And then Fairy Cheer Girl for Tori. I don't think we're getting Kaito. His Galaxy Eyes Dragon would not be too powerful in Duel Links. I think it's just more the fact, it's a possibility we may get it. I kind of want Anakaboom. Personally, I would love to summon 10-star monsters, then throw them at my opponent. That sounds like fun to me, but I don't think we're going to get that one for a while. It's possible to get her instead of Tori, but off of how much emphasis they put on Taya for both DSOD and original Duel Links, I think we're going to get Tori pretty early on. Now, my most thing I'm wondering about is skills, because we have level copy, which kind of helps XYZ's a little bit, and I'm wondering what they're going to do for the skills overall. Like, the question is, do we get Utopia in a box, or is it going to be a normal unlockable card? A lot more of the recent 5Ds have been unlockable, which has been pretty good overall. I'm kind of hoping that we all get they don't box it. I mean, there's plenty of cards they can throw in boxes and be able to get what they want from it. But I'm really hoping the overall theme of it is, well, if you don't know, I'm a very big fan of speed duels because of the skills. I think this more overpowered skills are fun. I like weird game-changing effects. I don't mind if it's too strong and they just reduce it later on. but I like effective skills. That's why I like Titan Showdown. I like Cyber Style. I like really impactful skills that do a lot to add to the game. You can like build whole strategies around it. I like Bandit, Switcheroo. I like big impactful skills. To me, a lot of the skills are like, okay, this is Infernity skill only, and you have to have this and this and this. Doesn't work well for me. Like 3-star Emotion was probably my second favorite skill for the longest time. So I'm hoping for Zexal, we get a lot more powerful skills, because for GX and 5Ds we did not, so it does not seem like we will, just off of how the trend has been going. We got a few interesting skills along the way, like for example, the Masked Brothers, Loomis and Umbra had the mass skill that was really impactful and usable for sub-terrors for a while. Like skills like that, like Light and Dark was really good. I like very impactful skills. Like they can later limit it and restrict it a little more, or it's more like, oh, you need Cosmic Cyclone first before you can Light and Dark switch because it's too consistent. But I do like very powerful skills, and I do think that'd be more interesting. I think if they added a lot more interesting skills, it would bring a lot more new players to playing competitive. Because the biggest problem is a lot of new players don't run good cards. I think it's something that Konami doesn't really think about. Is a lot of the newer players don't play a lot of really good cards. They can't really afford to go into boxes and get a lot of the main staples in the boxes. And so if you have interesting skills that work with the cards they have, and they can like work around with what they have to make it better, I think that's the interesting way. Like 3-star Emotion was a perfect example. Like back in the day, I'm going off the first nerf version where you pay 3,000 life points, and you can reduce something in your hand by 3 stars. You can play so many decks with that. You could play. People were playing Dark Magician because Dark Magician was not played anywhere until that, basically. So you just summon a Dark Magician. Ninjas were like OP because of it. There's like so much fun stuff. We got like Toon Barrel Dragon. Like the problem is, to me, is Duel Links had decided to take away a lot of the fun skills that made deck building and events interesting, because we got like a new card that completely like broke this skill for a little bit. Like I get they could probably ebb and flow it where around world tournaments if they wanted to, like make the skills not as good for during the time. But I really would prefer if they made skill changes a bit more robust and actually impactful. Because to me, the game has not been focusing on that. Like the best we got for like Infernities had one card wonder was used in stall, and they cut it off. That's fine. They can, if it turns out being too abusive, I don't mind them cutting it down, especially for stall. Stall is a strategy that is a lot harder to climb if you want to hit King of Games. Stall kind of throws a wrench in your strategy because you'll run like at least 1 in 5 games and you win 5 games in a row, making it really hard to hit what you want to hit overall. Yeah, I'm really hoping for more skills, because you think of if you don't know, I'm going to explain some of these. Speed Duels has very specific skills. They have a skill for specific monsters. They have a Serpent Knight Dragon skill that if you have Serpent Knight Dragon on your field, you have a skill that will pop, or that will check the top 3 cards of your deck. If you have, or top four cards, yeah, top 4 cards of your deck. If you have 1 monster, draw a card. If you have 2 monsters, destroy a card in your opponent's field. And if you have 3 monsters, you do both of these. You add, 1 card, add one of those 4 cards to your hand, not draw a card. That was basically draw a card. 2, destroy a card in the field. And 3, both of the effects. And then you get to stack them on top of the deck how you want to. This is a very powerful skill, and it may be abused a bit more in Duel Links. But I like the idea of centering around that. Like, you have to run Serpent Knight Dragon, which kind of makes it more specific. Like, there's ways to make... I like specifics. If it's a specific strategy, I want it to be busted. If it's a little more generic, I want it to be a little less powerful, but more fittable into other strategies. I mean, they can always change that, but the whole thing, like, destroying a card may not seem too impactful because you have to get Serpent Knight Dragon on the field, but it doesn't target, so you have non-targeting destruction that your opponent can't respond to, so they can't use back row, like Mass Change or anything like that, which was the most devastating thing in Speed Duels about it. There's also Kairyu-Shin. You get the Kairyu-Shin, the 1800 normal monster. You can activate it. It activates Umi from your graveyard or yeah, graveyard or hand or deck, I think it is, and then you basically, all your water monsters are immune to traps, but it does both sided traps, which is an interesting concept. Just overall, I really like interesting skills like that. Now, they do have their downsides, like for example, because Duel Links has the upper side, which is why I want Duel Links to have stronger skills. Duel Links can actually change their skills, where Speed Duels can't, because Speed Duels release a skill that acts like a cocoon of Ultra Evolution, where you basically, if you have a insect on the field, equipped with an equip spell, you can send it to the grave, summon an insect from your deck. Which on itself is not that strong of a skill, but they added the card, a Paranoid, which is an insect that equips your opponent's monster, making it a bug. You tribute it off, they can't respond to it as long as they're equipped. And it just made it like a very hard to play around in the deck. And the problem with that is you have the most powerful skill being that, with no way to really counter it. And Speed Duels doesn't get as many cards as Duel Links, making it harder to keep up and like shifting it out of the meta is the better way to put that. Alrighty, well, that's a pretty big rant on skills overall. That's just how I feel about skills. I really want more stronger skills. I feel like if they added stronger skills, they could actually have a lot more of the player base that's not competitive and more just playing for fun. Just play the game, or even verse some competitive decks, and actually maybe they find one they like and they play it. So I just think that's like an idea they can work around. Like even like meme strategies, like the most meme skills you can think about that are like really hard to pull off, don't win where they are competitive, but they make new players have a lot of fun, enjoy the game, keep playing it. That's just how I feel about skills overall. Alrighty, I'm going off a rant. I'm taking a lot more time than I thought I would. Alrighty, well, that's that overall. I'm going to switch to my Auto Duel deck. Alrighty, here we are. So this is my Auto Duel deck. This is the deck I use just to Auto Duel all the random computers. Sometimes I'll use it for events. If I lose more than half the games in events, I'll usually switch to either Red Eyes if they have a lot of targeting, or I'll just find a way to like do the event without it. But this is usually what I use. This works for like 90% of the time. It does have its losses because you can brick with this. I found the consistency of the polymerizations of this to be the right amount to win a majority of my games. I win about 65 to 70% of my auto duels. Vagabonds you just lose because Vagabonds, like, they play good decks. They remove your ultimate Ancient Golem and you just lose, and you can't OTK them very easily. But yeah, I found that like 7 polymerizations work very well. If Ancient Gears, which wouldn't be too busted if they got Ancient Gear Fusion, my auto duel deck would be pretty ridiculous. Just overall. Yeah, but basically you have your 9 Ancient Gear Golems. Actually more than that. You have 3, 6, 9, 12 Ancient Gear Golems, all in possible opener hand. And then you have 7 possible polymerizations. You can't run more polymerizations because you need to see 3 Ancient Gears. So if you open 2 polymerizations, turn 1, and you don't open your Wyvern or your Frame, you are not able to summon out an ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, which some auto duel decks will destroy you. Alrighty, you'll just use any skill that doesn't like hinder your deck, but not too much to show there, so I'm just going to end the video here. Well, I appreciate you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know what kind of things you want to see in the future. Let me know if you like the discussion, if you want me to do more discussions in the future, what you would like to see, what you want me to talk about. I'm probably going to go over, I'm going to do a little more research before I talk about the XYZ stuff. So I want to like really dive into a lot of the monsters and possible things we can get and archetypes, because I don't know too much about the XYZ archetypes. But I'm probably going to more specifically go over what we have in the game and what will work better. Like for example, Black Wings have levels that work decently with it, but not really extra deck space. And we possibly, I'm thinking we're getting an 7th extra deck zone, because we got the one for Synchro, so we'll probably get a 7th one there, which will have a lot of decks out, especially Invoked. Helping Invoked. Oh no, the pain. Alrighty, well, just let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you guys. That's the video overall. Keep fusioning. Let's go Slash.